Welcome to another episode of Bucket List Coach Web Show Live. Well, hello. This is Cindy Lee, your host over at Bucket List Coach Web Show Live. And today I'm doing a collab with Podcasthon, and I'm also with the Human Rescue Society. So a little bit about the show. I'm a travel agent, and I started podcasting way back in 2012. I started my own agency in 2018. And anybody who is connected with the Human Rescue Society, if you book a vacation, we're going to donate 100% of the commission that goes back. So a little backstory. So this podcast is about paying it forward to nonprofits. I also have aviation. I have travel and people who are checking off that bucket list. And if you're a local restaurant or a restaurant anywhere in the world and you want me to review your restaurant, I do that through the podcast show as well. I'm going to go ahead and pop off, and you're going to get a chance to meet Michael. I'm going to share this in a couple of Facebook groups, and I'll be right back. Go ahead, Michael.
How you doing, everybody? I really want to thank Cindy for having me on here. Human trafficking is a really, really intense area with people disappearing every day, thousands of people disappearing every day. So we're here to try and deplete that as much as possible. We are a fund-raising nonprofit organization, meaning that we raise funds to support other organizations in the human trafficking space via rescue and aftercare, and helping the rescued victims get back on their feet with regards to job skills and things of that nature. So that's what we do. We raise the funds to support all those other groups. Funding depleted back in drastically back in 2020 when the pandemic occurred. So a lot of funding became very scarce. So we recognized this and understood that there was a need for a nonprofit in that space. So that's what we do. We raise funds. And one of the things that we do is we sell products online, or will be selling products online. And our lead product is coffee. We know how much everybody loves coffee. So as soon as we go live, our website will have coffee there that you can purchase. We also are opening a coffee shop, which is called Sips and Souls Cafe in Middlesex County, central part of New Jersey. And we should be open in about 90 to 120 days. And every purchase there, a portion of that purchase will be going to save someone's life that's being trafficked. So really cool if you guys could support Cindy here with her podcast. And also if you could support us, that would be awesome. That is our website. Yes, that's a work in progress website as well. So, but you can go there and put your email address in, and we will keep you updated on everything that's going on our side and what we're doing. So
that's great. So let's talk about some projects that we're working on. So let's start with the coffee project first.
So the coffee shop is called Sips and Souls Cafe. It's a quaint, small coffee shop that will be roasting on premise and offering specialty coffee, craft specialty coffee, sourcing beans actually from farms in a lot of situations direct, meaning that we are making sure that the farmers are not being exploited. We believe in a win-win ratio, meaning from where the coffee's grown all the way out to rescuing traffic victims all along the way, supporting the various different pieces of the journey from the coffee getting from the farm to us. So we also source from brokers, and we only source coffee that is fair market trade and making sure that the farmers are being taken care of properly. So we have a Facebook page, Human Rescue Society, which is, you'll see that up on the screen now. Human Rescue Society, Inc. That is our nonprofit organization. We are a 501c3 registered nonprofit in New Jersey. So any donations are tax deductible. And our Facebook group is an open group. Anybody can join. Just have to answer the questions and follow the rules. And, we post about all different types of people, not only in New Jersey, but from around the country and around the world of exploited or trafficked victims.
And I have a lot of stuff that I posted just for my neighborhood here in Orange County. It's just all over the country, all over the world. It's just really, really sad with what's happening. So what are we going to be doing with your nonprofit that's going to change the trajectory of human trafficking?
Well, in the future, we've talked, Cindy, you and I, about a cruise on human trafficking. What is that, Awareness Day? I think it's January 11th is the Human Traffic Awareness Day, and
yes, January 11th.
Where Cindy is eager to do a cruise where. What's the details on that, Cindy, for that cruise, if anybody books on that cruise?
So once we get that all set up, we will get the information out there, but I will be donating portions of my commission back to the nonprofit. And also, like we talked earlier, if you want to book a hotel, a vacation, a cruise, a VRBO, reach out to Michael or myself, and all the bookings that we do through the Human Rescue Society, 100% of my commission is going back to the nonprofit.
Right. And I do the same thing with different various network marketing groups and stuff that I'm a part of. Anything that's generated in that regard all goes back to Human Rescue Society to help support. So one of the things I guess I should mention, Cindy, is some of the nonprofits that we're aligned with are organizations, nonprofit organizations, by the way, like Saved in America out of San Diego, California, Poema Foundation in Rockwall, Texas.
Oh, wow.
HopeCo.global out of Las Vegas, Nevada. These are just a couple of organizations that we're aligned with, and we're looking at others. In this space, you have to be super careful, and you have to make sure to vet those individual organizations that say that they're on the side of helping traffic victims, because a lot of them are set up to do the opposite. So we're very specific and do a lot of background checking and so on to make sure that we're not associated with anybody that's going in the opposite direction. So these three organizations are wonderful, wonderful organizations.
And doing the collaboration is really super important to get more awareness out there.
Yeah.
What are some of your tips to keep yourself from being a victim of this?
Be alert to social media. I know we're streaming here live on social media. Be alert to social media. Social media is probably the biggest tool used for trafficking.
Wow.
For virtual eyes monitoring the whereabouts of individuals. And I have to say individuals because a lot of people think it's just children. It's not. Human trafficking has no gender requirements. There's no age requirements. So you could be young, you could be old, you could be any race that there is. It doesn't matter. If you've got a heartbeat, they're interested in trafficking to some extent, that individual. But children are the most vulnerable because of their innocence and naivety. So many, many cases that I've listened to right from the source of people that were affected. It hits home for me too, because I have a granddaughter that fell into that problem. So it's a heartfelt thing for me of what we do. But social media, you have to be really, really cautious of social media. It's a good tool to have, but you have to pay attention and definitely watch your children to make sure that they're not talking to someone. I mean, you could be on a PlayStation game now and talking to people. It's everything is connected in some way, shape, or form, and that's the target. And ironically, I mentioned Saved in America. The founder, Joseph Travers, worked with a very genius gentleman, and they put together a process for what they call reversed social media. So they actually take the tool that the traffickers use and they reverse it to be able to locate and find the traffic victims. It's called reverse social media is the title that they gave it. And
Wow.
with that, he's been able to, since he's founded and started Saved in America, over 280 rescues of children that he's brought home back to their families. So.
That is, what's the website? Is it just savedinamerica.org?
Yes, it is. SavedInAmerica.org. William Travers is retired law enforcement, and he works with a lot of ex-military and FBI and law enforcement. He's got a big group of Navy SEALs that work with him, and he's working towards a tour this year to tour the lower 48 states of the United States. It's called the Saved in America Tour. So he's got a mobile command unit now that was donated to him, and he's anticipating starting this tour. And he'll be going from state to state and working with local law enforcement to teach them about this reverse social media concept that he's been so successful with, and do hands-on training with them. He's also was part of not the previous administration, federal government administration, but prior to the last 4 years when Mr. Trump was in office the first time. Joseph Travers actually worked with President Trump in regards to the human traffic epidemic at that time. So
Wow.
he's hoping to start working with Mr. President Trump again during this term as well. So
that is amazing. So one of the things that I'll ask you after the show, if you could give me links of the different companies that you are partnering with, that way I could add that to the show notes as well. So how did you meet them? Did you meet them online, or was it a direct connection?
Joseph Travers, I was introduced to. I actually went to a human trafficking event in Rockwall, Texas, back in 2023, I think that was, or 2024. And I met one of his liaisons who sits on the board of directors for Saved in America in Rockwall, Texas. And the person that put that event together, Michelle Nickelberry, introduced me to Joseph Travers, and that's how we met. So we haven't met in person just yet, so it's all been virtual. The wonders of technology, I guess you could say. But he's a very heartfelt gentleman, and he's an ordained pastor, and so he's very, very, very caught up or very heavily entrenched in this because of the immensity of how overwhelming it is, and the fact that he's seen so much of it. He was in law enforcement in LA, so he
Oh, wow.
worked in East LA and did a lot of law enforcement work with the gangs in that area, and became associated with certain, what do they call them, contacts, so to speak, and learned a lot of stuff in regards via the gangs in that area and what they shared with him with information. And that's how he put a lot of his stuff together that he utilizes today to save these children.
So is there a document or website somewhere that lists all the different things we need to watch for if we're being trafficked, or say someone has a child, say they're 15 years old, or is there some of the things we need to watch out for so we're not a victim of that?
Yeah, SavedInAmerica.org has a lot of information on there that people can go to learn. A lot of it is just an abundance of common sense and making sure that you watch your children all the time. If you're going to be on social media, be aware of your posting of your whereabouts. A lot of the tragedy stories that we've heard are children being abducted in literally a split second because the traffickers who are watching realized that they were going to be at the local Walmart today, and they just go there and they're grabbing children. So just awareness is the biggest factor, but savedinamerica.org, that website has a lot of information, and we're going to start posting stuff like that on Human Rescue Society's website as well to raise awareness. Education and awareness is the biggest tool that we can utilize to get the word out to people. I can't tell you, Cindy, how many people have, when this conversation comes up, they're aware of what those two words mean, but they don't understand how immense it is.
Mm-hmm.
It was estimated back in 2021, so you're talking 4 years ago, that human trafficking was going to exceed the illicit drug trafficking arena. Which they have now achieved that. And at that time, it was over $150 billion annually that they were generating in trafficking. It's immense. When you look at those numbers, you can kind of understand how big this is. So,
I remember in the late 80s, is way back when I was modeling, and I met a gentleman who was a judge at a modeling event I did in Las Vegas. He wanted to meet right outside where I live now. I think it was Rialto or something. And yeah, so I was really afraid that was what the situation was, because he said I was going to be in this modeling magazine. And I noticed as soon as he went to the restroom, I got in my car and I zipped out of there because I just didn't feel comfortable. So if any young women are listening, please go with your gut, because then you could be in a bad situation. That very well could have been sex traffic. It was really weird.
Pay attention. Another thing, Cindy, that's important, and we just posted this on our Facebook page. I say anybody, but specifically females or young females, when you're going to your vehicle, walk once around your vehicle and just look at it. They're tagging vehicles to marker vehicles for specifics of what they've been, monitoring of that individual, so to speak. We just had someone who shared with us about a rim on the car that was tie wrapped, and that tie wrap was there as a marker. I've had people tell me that they'll put on the passenger side, because most people go to their car, they get in on the driver's side, they don't look at anything else. And on the passenger side, there was a marker on the handle of the door to get in on the passenger side. So these are all things that are, point or direct to someone that's doing something illicit, illegally, and most likely it's trafficking. So we like to, those are the types of education and awareness tips that we like to point out to people as well.
Well, let's talk about what's going on in Montana. I believe is it April 28th or 29th?
I think it's the 27th to the 29th. There's an event, a human trafficking event going on there. Tiffany Parker was one of these keynote speakers that I had met. She's also an author and a survivor of human trafficking when I was down in Rockwall at that event. And she reached out to me. We kept in touch, but very, vaguely in touch. And she reached out just recently and asked if we were still supporting, in the realm of human trafficking, for people to be able to attend events, or, would I be able to help her to get to an event, her and two other trafficked survivors. And we worked together to get her to that event with one of those two survivors. So they'll be attending that event in Montana. I forget the name of the event off the top of my head, but we managed to be able to pull together some funds and got the 2 ladies from Florida and Texas to Montana, in addition to taking care of their hotel stay for them too, so they could attend that event.
And I'll add in the show notes right when we're done, probably 5 or 10 minutes after we're done. I'll go look for that information and put it in the show notes if anybody wants to share that. That'd be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, yeah. This whole illicit empire that these people have built is all on the misuse or the really bad extreme misuse of human beings. The stuff that's done in this space, in most cases, if not all, is treatment that our own farmers here in the United States, they don't even treat their livestock in that regard. So it's mind-boggling. Every time I think that I've heard everything, there's something else that comes to me of a story of what they do. So it's hopefully one day we can say that we were able to wipe it out. That's our goal.
Yeah, there's even an Anthony Robbins documentary, and there was somebody who was in a bad situation that got to tell her story, and he was able to change her life by connecting her to 3 gentlemen that were in the room, and now they're kind of like family. So they talk to each other, every couple months, see how each other is doing. And yeah, it's just amazing how much it's hit our country. And if you're at a grocery store and you see something that doesn't look right, because that actually happened with a friend of mine, he's seen someone in line at the grocery store, and the woman looked really young, and the way that the person was holding them on their waist. So if you see something like that, please somehow, without being caught, reach out to the authorities, go in the corner or something like that. It's just really to be able to stop what's going on.
Yeah, no one should ever be embarrassed, Cindy. And a lot of people say I'm embarrassed because what if I made a mistake? Or, what if they come after me? In most cases, if they're if the perpetrator is caught, that's not going to happen. But I would rather make a mistake than to know that I didn't say anything and someone's life is forever going to be enslaved and the mistreatment. So
yeah, I just would say, like, I wouldn't want my face to be around. If that person seen me do it, I would just kind of go on the side a little, because a friend of mine seen that happen and they didn't do anything about it. I would have no problem doing something about that.
Right.
Just kind of be on the down low, so that person, because you don't know what kind of person that person is. You just have to be safe for yourself as well. But you can definitely report it. Just kind of go a little from the line, or behind a box or something like that, so they can't really see what you're doing.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you could save somebody's life by doing that.
A lot of people have been asking me about my my hairiness here too. My beard is not something that I usually sport, but about a month ago, I decided I was going to grow a beard and mustache because it's the visual indicator for when our shop opens. So I host a call every Saturday morning, and the people that are on the calls, they're like, "Oh, you're growing a beard. You look good. What's that for?" But I decided that once the shop for the grand opening, once we open, I'll shave it all off, and that'll be our visual indicator for everybody to know that the shop's open. Kind of, I know it's a little silly, but I figured it would be something fun to do. So
I wanted to talk about another national holiday that's coming up this summer, July 30th, World Day Against Trafficking. So maybe we can get some event together. This would be really great, actually, for the coffee shop that's coming up, to hold an event and get more people there. Also, if you are an author, this is a great way to collaborate with Michael and his organization. I'm going to be posting a couple of my launches there. I have a travel book, and I also have a networking book, and I'm going to be utilizing and collaborating with Michael as a part of that mission.
Yeah, actually, we're going to have that's one of the ongoing events that we're going to have at the coffee shop with authors for book signings. We're also going to have a Bible study class in the evening, and
Oh, very nice.
we're also going to have one of those traditional type things that most coffee shops have with an open mic night, where we'll have acoustical music or poetry or comedy. And we have the ability to be able to welcome organizations that need a space to hold meetings or whatever in our shop. So, and then outside events, not only locally, but in our area, our county, and throughout New Jersey, we'll be doing different events with car shows and bike shows and car washes, and there's a ton of stuff coming, a ton of stuff.
I want to do a big shout out to my friend Chef Pascal. He actually has a line of coffee, so we're going to be collaborating with him. Anybody else you like to shout out to? And let's kind of go a little more in depth of the plan here within the next 90, 120 days with the shop.
Well, some of the things that we're doing in regards to when I mentioned before about it being a craft, a specialty coffee shop, we're sourcing direct from farms. So we're working with farmers in, believe it or not, Haiti, Kenya, Guatemala, and Honduras right now, where we'll be sourcing direct, where we have direct contact to the farms. So we'll be bringing the coffee in direct from the farms, from those 4 sources. But then we're also going back to that win-win scenario that I gave. We're also working with other small craft coffee companies like Chef Pascal. And every day we'll be featuring a different coffee company's coffee on our menu, so that we can help them to grow as well. So we like this. I don't think there's anybody that I'm aware of that is offering this type of a business model. And we like it because we're in the business to help people,
There's one in Rockland, California that does something very similar. And their employees actually work for free, and all the money goes back to the sex trafficking there in Sacramento.
Gotcha.
That was about 10 years ago. I don't know if they're still around, and people would have business meetings. They have like a little conference room in the back, and it's really good. Also, if you join your local chamber of commerce, you could have a ribbon cutting there, and there's so many different things that you can do to get your brand out there and get more eyeballs on your nonprofit.
Yeah, I don't know of any coffee company that's selling other people's coffee for them, though.
Yes, no, that part is good. That's really amazing. Yeah. And are you looking for more partners in coffee? Because I have a few others that I would like to get over
We're
to.
always looking to talk to people because it's a big number to hit. Right now, obviously, we don't have 365 different coffee companies because we're still growing. So we're always looking for different coffee companies. And we may not do it every day because we talked about how tedious that could be. So instead of featuring them in our shop every day, we'll have them on our website where you can purchase through our website, and a portion of that purchase will go, the proceeds will go to support the fight against human trafficking. So yeah, Cindy, anybody that send them, or anybody that's watching here, send them our way.
So is that your call to action for today? You're looking for more connections to some coffee companies, or what's your call to action today?
Call to action. I'm going to do it on a 2-part. Call to action. I want to express or stress to everybody to be aware of what's going on. Those of you that have been around for a while, like me, we're not living in the same world that we lived in, when we were younger. So pay attention to your surroundings, be educated, be smart, be aware. And if you have children, whether they're young or old, it doesn't matter, male or female, it doesn't matter. Always express to them and educate them and let them know that they need to be aware. I have 2 daughters. I have 4 granddaughters. My wife, my sisters, my sister-in-law. I tell them all the time. I sound like a broken record, I guess, to them, but I always do that. The part 2 of that call to action is if there's anybody that watching this podcast that is in the coffee space and is interested in collaborating or working alongside us, where we can support them and they can support us, by all means, send them to us. We'd love to talk to them.
And how about board of directors? Are you looking for new members for your board?
Right now, we're pretty well set. I mean, things always change. If someone is interested in bringing something to the table, or if this is a cause that is near and dear, or something that you feel that you're passionate about, by all means, you can reach out to me and contact me, and we could chat and see what we can do.
All right, go ahead and shout out your website again.
The website is humanrescuesociety.org. Humanrescuesociety.org. And the coffee shop, we're in the building phase for these websites because we're kind of new. So the website address, we've just recently talked about maybe tweaking it a little bit.
Mhm.
So right now the website address is sipsandsoulscafe.coffee, but there's talk about it possibly being changed to sipsandsoulscafe.
So you can follow them on TikTok, also Facebook. Do you have an Instagram page as well?
Yeah, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and X right now.
And it's all Human Rescue Society, or is it Sip and Souls?
It's Sips and Souls. So what we were instructed, because I'm not the smartest person when it comes to marketing, we were told that our engine, so that we can go, and the engine is Sips and Souls Cafe, so that we could start raising revenue to support the nonprofit,
Mhm.
in addition to taking donations. So Sips and Souls Cafe is the engine that's going to do that. So that's the social media pages that we just talked about, the platforms of where you can see Sips and Souls Cafe. Human Rescue will follow right along beside that as soon as we get up and get running. My team is anxious. It's a bunch of young people who are very excited about this cause and being a part of it and being able to work towards what we're doing. And they all love coffee too. It's amazing how many people love coffee.
I only like one coffee, and that's from Chef Pascal. That's my favorite, actually.
And you'll be able to get that from us as well as Chef Pascal too. So
Definitely. So we're gonna go ahead and bump out. We're gonna go in the green room here in a minute. And so this is Cindy and Michael coming to you live from Bucket List Coach Web Show Live, collab with Podcasthon. Make sure you check out Human Rescue Society. And if you're looking to book a upcoming trip, whether it's a cruise, a VRBO, a car rental, any kind of trip, I am giving 100% of my commission back to the nonprofit. So we'll see you just on the other side, and hope to see you this summer over at the coffee shop. Take care now.
God bless.